study that the students have presented us. And I hope you all have all had a chance to read the book, and if not, I think you'll be able to take something away here. So we just wanted to get a little bit of SIP business out of the way before we move on to the main event. We, as y'all know, we had to postpone the SIP tailgate that was going to happen before the homecoming game. I think we're likely going to have to push that into the spring, so it'll be fun to maybe do it for soccer or baseball, or maybe we can find a day where both are playing and we can get everybody on campus for those sports that don't often get as much love as the football team does. And then we had our faculty appreciation breakfast just this week on Tuesday, which went great. The teachers really enjoyed it, and you know, although parents, we thank you for donating all that food. It was delicious. Upcoming, yes.
Can you go to the microphone so I sit here?
Oh yeah, sorry. So upcoming events, we have a middle school dance on October 25th. And then, of course, the Halloween Carnival, which will take place over the 30th and 31st. So that's lots of volunteer opportunities available. I've got sign-ups over here on the table for those upcoming events, and we will send those out with kind of your time frames so that you can sign up for certain time spots for those if you're interested. And I did want to go ahead, we usually do a door prize for coming to the SIP meeting, and we usually do that at the very end, but I wanted to go ahead and also get that out of the way while y'all are all here to make sure we get that if people have to leave. And I'll go ahead and give the mic to Dr. Adams while I'm drawing that.
All right, just wave me down when you're ready to announce the winner. Can y'all hear me in the back? Okay, I have to remember to basically eat the microphone for the people in the back to hear. Welcome, parents, and thank you for joining us for this really special opportunity to study this book, The Anxious Generation. This is something very unique that Stratford is doing, and I bragged a little bit this morning on our students. We had an admin meeting yesterday, and had some dialogue around, have our students ever led parents through the study of something? And to our knowledge, the answer was no. So this is a historical moment for Stratford, in that our students are stepping up in leadership to facilitate an educational experience for our parents, but also facilitate some dialogue that directly affects them and their peers, and we're just honored. So I want to also start by thanking our students. So students, if you'll stand, the students who are guiding us today, and parents, if you will join me in thanking them for the work they have put in. So this group of students represents, y'all can sit now, thank you, Stratford's Minds Matters and the Student Leadership Board. These students are missing class this morning to do this, which means they will have more work on the back end. So they had the work in prepping for this, and then the work on the back end to make up what they're missing in class. But this is so meaningful to them and so important to them. And I've heard there's been some very robust dialogue amongst our students about what they're hoping arises out of this conversation together. So we are so excited, students, for your leadership today. And you might be feeling some nerves associated with this as well, and that's normal. I get nervous every time I'm in front of a group, every time, whether it's our admin team, whether it's our upper school faculty, whether it's our parent group. Nerves are normal, and it's important to embrace them and push through. That is how we develop resilience, and hopefully you've learned some of that with reading the text too. That is how resilience is developed. So I had a script. I'm totally off script right now, but I also want to thank so Miss Sally Boyd, our school counselor, if you'll wave. April Bacon, our Stratford Minds Matter advisor. April, if you'll wave. Kayla Morales, our Student Leadership Board advisor. And our new head of upper school, Anna Dadar. They have been working with our students, and we have about 25 students in putting this together for us today. So without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you to Miss Dadar so we can get things rolling. Okay?
Congratulations, Brandy. I will be very quick because I know you are all here for a really important reason. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, my name's Katie Carr, and I have the pleasure of serving in your development office. And if you are new to Stratford, we have a big couple of days coming up next week, which is our Day of Giving. And so I wanted just to take a quick minute and talk to this group because our SIP team has always been so instrumental in helping our school reach our goals. Tuition covers about 85% of our operating budget, and so we do fundraisers like the Day of Giving to help us cover the additional percentages that we need to help sustain the school's budget. So all of the wonderful programming, the scholastic endeavors, your athletics, your arts, and all of the things that make Stratford the school that is, in my opinion, the best school, come when we all get together and raise these funds. So Day of Giving is a 36-hour event where we blast social media and we use this opportunity to share with our family and friends and invite them to take part in what it is that our children are receiving here. And so with that, last year we added a participation contest for different grade levels. And I gotta be really honest, I did not know how well it would go over with some of our older divisions, and it was our 9th graders last year that were the most excited about the petting zoo that they got to go to. So this year, we're gonna do that again. So I wanted to explain how that works. We will be having competitions in each division level, and the grade with the highest percentage, of participation, that's an omen if we don't get 100%. The grade level with the highest percentage of participation in each division gets called out, gets to have a special party, a special recognition, and gets to do something that nobody else gets to do. So there'll be a preschool winner, a lower school winner, a middle school winner, and an upper school winner. And it really is up to our parents to help spread the word. Now, if you are like me and we make a gift on Day of Giving that we're always happy to do, but I always try to encourage my parents, aunts and uncles, and other people that are seeing the benefits of my first graders' education to also participate. So this is all done online. We have a great website. For those of you with multiple kids, we've updated the website a little bit where you can basically add a kid to your cart and finish your transaction. The other thing that we're adding this year that I'm super excited about, and I wanted to share with you all, this group has always been so generous when it comes to our faculty. And you all know how much our faculty work so hard to provide top-notch education for our students. Well, this year we're adding an additional incentive element when you decide to give. When you give at different levels, there is an opportunity to honor your child's teacher, either with a note or with a treat. For a larger gift, you can honor the entire grade level of teachers. For a really great gift, you're gonna get a phone call from me and a big hug, and your entire division level teachers will receive an honor. So I want you guys to be on the lookout for that, and I think this is a great opportunity to talk to your kids. What teacher would they like to honor with a note? We will have volunteers that day running to classrooms and delivering cookies and delivering treats and delivering notes to teachers to say thank you. So that's a new element that we've added that I really want to encourage you guys to think about. Just another way that we can say thank you to our teachers. If you have any questions about Day of Giving, I'm going to be here afterwards. I'd be happy to answer them, but I just wanted to say thank you in advance. Last year, 68% of our parents gave on top of what they pay in tuition and on top of other gifts to the school they gave during Day of Giving. And that's really amazing. I'm going to challenge us though. The national percentage of parent giving is 75%. I think we can do it. Stratford exceeds expectations everywhere else, and I think that we can do it in our participation and our commitment to make this school the best that it can be. Thank y'all very much. I'm gonna let us get to the program.
I'm just going to walk by and get my book. So this is Anna Dadar.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Anna Dadar. I am the new upper school head, and I'm so excited to be here this morning with everybody. So that you can hear from our students. That's the main event. I'm just setting up what the program will be today and giving a little bit of a summary also about the book. But as I said, the main event will definitely be our students. So as a quick setup, the author, Jonathan Haidt, is a social psychologist. He's written several books. And the book we're talking about today is The Anxious Generation, which as soon as that was published, really stirred a lot of conversation. A lot of people were interested, and there were a lot of emotions that came from reading that book. And the biggest thing that is exciting about the book is that he's calling for a campaign for a collective action, for people to get together, have those conversations, and really think about what can we do, what are we doing. And so it's so exciting that we're here today to have that collective conversation with faculty, students, and families. And so this is really the start of that conversation. And so it's great that we're here this morning. Rachel did already introduce us a little bit, so I'm going to skip over this pretty quickly. But I do want to thank all of the adults also who have done a remarkable job. We have been planning for this for months, and it's been really exciting to see them work, and they're all coming at it from different perspectives. And they'll be milling about also, so if you have questions for them or thoughts for them, please also reach out to them because they've really studied and prepared for this in a great way. Here are the students, as Rachel said. They represent 2 different groups, and so here you have them listed, their names. They're also wearing name tags, and as Rachel said, I want to echo again the thanks. They have been preparing for this, they're very excited, and so it's great to have that conversation across different groups. And then, as I said, I'm going to hand it over to Miss April Bacon in a minute. For those of you who maybe read the chapters a little while ago, or for those of you who didn't get a chance to read the chapters as thoroughly as you wanted, we wanted to provide a little summary and some vocabulary and language that you would see in those chapters to then start that conversation with the students who prepared questions, and so they're able to facilitate that. Each table also has sheets of paper, and so we would love for someone at the table to take notes, because at the very end, for the last 10 minutes, each table is going to share one takeaway that they have, so that we can hear what are some of the great discussions that people were having. We will collect the notes so that we can look at the conversation, and we can also use that to inform what we're doing at Stratford, and for the second conversation as well. So that's something that you'll find at your tables with Sharpies. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for embracing this conversation. And I'm going to hand it over to April to give a little summary.
Good morning, everyone. Ms. McDavid, can you hear me back there? Can you hear me? Am I loud enough? No? It's louder? Is this good? Better? Okay. So first of all, since you're all here and we don't often get this opportunity, I think, as a faculty, I just want to thank you guys for all that you do for Stratford and all that you do for the faculty. In the intensity of the semester, I think, sometimes we don't slow down and just say thank you, but what you do for the faculty really is meaningful and it makes a difference in our days, so thank you for that. First I want to start with this graph, which I think explains why does this book even exist. And so the graphs themselves really tell the story, so even if you didn't have a chance to get to the book and you flip through and just look at the graphs, a picture emerges about Generation Z. Can't hear? Do you want me to hold your A picture emerges about Generation Z and the kind of anxiety and mental health issues that they're facing. And so this one kind of distills, I think, that problem into one statement, and the statement is, life often feels meaningless. And so what you see is a kind of wiggly line, but in the 2010s, it curves up, and so it's like an elbow curve, right? And so this is the generation that we're talking about here. And so that's really hard. That's hard to hear that, and it's really emotional, but the good news is that we actually do know what makes life meaningful, and so I'll talk about that a little bit on the next slide. But just very briefly, there's another graph here that I think helps to tell that picture, which is the daily average time that our children are spending with their friends, and whereas life is meaningless is going up, this one is going down. So the book basically says that this is happening because we've taken a play-based childhood and we've turned it into a phone-based childhood. And so there's 2 time periods that are really important to understand this. One is the 90s, and I'm what I like to call an elder millennial. This is when I was growing up, And so I think largely I did live what I call a free-range childhood. I had a lot of freedom, but I also noticed a lot of fear in the air. That's just my personal experience from that time. So this really made a lot of sense to me. And then the second time period is the 2010s, when we have smartphones, likes, tweets come out. And if you're removing the play-based childhood because of fear, the phone-based childhood is then kind of an easy solution for where to send children. And so the part that we read for today focuses primarily on the play-based childhood, and then later in the book we'll get to the phone-based childhood. But just to talk a little bit about what a play-based childhood does for our children. So first, there's free independent play that offers opportunity for risk. And so what he says in the book, what he reassures us is that children are anti-fragile, right? And so any of our gardeners out there can make an analogy here to our plants. If we grow them inside, their roots don't grow quite as strong as deep as they do when they are put outside and they face the wind, right? So this is a nice analogy for how young people need to face risk in order to grow stronger. So this is similar to a child who wants to learn to skateboard, right? And it can be progressive risk. So first they might be skateboarding straight, and then they encounter a little hill. Eventually they get to that half pipe. They're growing in courage and bravery the whole time, and they're probably doing it with friends. And the beautiful thing about the play-based childhood feedback cycle or loop is that when they fall and when they get wounded, the wise adult is there to tell them it's okay, to bandage their wounds, and to encourage them to have bravery to go back again. Sorry, I'm sure you can tell I've got the nerves going on here.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep it up.
So as another analogy that Dr. Adams has already sort of led us to, as an English teacher, I get to see students take bravery to speak up in class. It's really hard. They're doing it in front of their peers. They might be wrong. That eventually develops into confidence in fishbowls, our beloved fishbowls and Socratic seminars, where they're leading discussion in class, and then who knows, maybe one day they find themselves at a SIP meeting leading with the table and parents. Luckily, in each of their scenarios, there is the wise adult there to say, to guide them along the way and say, it's okay, you don't have to be perfect through this, right? Okay, so secondly, we have social learning. And this exists, children learn by copying, regardless of whether they're in the real world or the virtual world. So in the real world, they will learn by copying their peers, as we know. They'll learn by copying adults. And something happened in my advisory yesterday that I think is like a good example of like what we're directing them to through the phone-based childhood. So there's this word going around the freshman class, which some of you may have heard, which is skibbity. I was very confused about this, and so I kind of asked for an explanation, and it was really hard. It was really hard for the group to tell me what this was about. But eventually I got to the idea that this was a video that they were watching online, and in the video there's a character who's kind of villainous, right? And so one of my students, very gentle, kind freshman boy, was telling me that little kids are wanting to copy this sort of like villainous character. And I'm just like, well, why? I don't get it. I truly felt old for the first time, I think, here. Because his answer was so direct and so obvious, and I was like, oh, duh. And he was like, Miss Bacon, it's because it's cool. And I was like, oh, of course. So that's what we see and what we'll see in the phone-based part of this book that's next as well, is that what's cool or what's is curated for children so that they're led to specific things. Instead of being able to choose their own mentors, the process of likes and et cetera is curating what's cool for them. Okay, so attunement. Sorry.
No, I was the microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
So attunement is the next one here, and this is the most beautiful one, I think, because attunement is where you learn, you practice emotion, you practice belonging in the community around you. And so you practice turn taking and those sorts of things, because the real world is synchronous and we do it together, and we have one-to-one interactions and we have one-to-several interactions, whereas the phone-based childhood, you can't do that because these interactions are asynchronous. They're one to who knows how many. And so that opportunity for attunement with your social community around you just isn't there. Okay, and then finally is agency or freedom. And so that's what the play-based childhood offers our children that the phone-based does not. And I think that's it.
Okay, so hopefully that was helpful, just to think about some of the vocabulary and content. And so now we invite you to have conversations at your tables. The students have questions. And so we'll be able to do this for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back together and share our takeaways. So enjoy. Thank you. Yes, and just a reminder, please do pick a scribe and also someone to report out. A scribe and a reporter.
I'll repeat the question. Sorry.
Social media was like, I got Facebook in college. And the camera, and then they fall out of the tree outside. What I'm starting to see 11-year-old is very different. He doesn't need to take time. So like now we don't put I think about it. I take time. There's lag time. Like
So I've been taking part of our lives.
Waiting to take attendance about what Jess said. It's easy to say when our kids are super young. Sorry. Well, that's it. It's nice that we have that with the it's like you're sitting in it's not fun. It's an electronic but a device
in public, and I think they do a great job.
Where I liked growing up, we had like limited text messages. Right. Oh gosh, I've already forgotten that. So you couldn't just like go back and forth. That's genius. Yeah. Then it'd be like really think through what they were saying.
Thank you.
It's for the video.
Oh.
So just stand.
Oh, okay. My name is Campbell McIntyre. I'm a junior, and I am the vice president of Stratford Minds Matter.
I'm Annie Fuzzle. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a sophomore class representative for Stratford Minds Matter.
I'm Lawton Capson. I'm a junior, and I'm also a vice president of Stratford Minds Matter.
One of the major takeaways we had was that social media is an experience blocker to kids in this day of age. So,
Say it real loud.
that it's an experience blocker to kids in this day of age. So.
It's an experience blocker. I'll walk around and yell behind you guys.
Who do I?
Are we supposed to elaborate?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
This table? Yeah, we go here. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm Thomas Mann. I'm a senior.
And I'm Eli Whitehead. I'm a freshman class president.
My name's Stella McIntyre, and I'm a junior. And I'm a class rep for Stratford Minds Matter.
Our takeaway was that like different kids need to be handled differently online with social media use and screen time.
Different kids need to be handled differently online with social media use and screen time.
Hi, I'm Lily Hatcher. I'm the 10th grade class president.
Hi, I'm Fiona Leary, and I'm a senior on SLB.
And our biggest takeaway was them as parents know how our phones affected them, and they don't want that for their children.
Did everybody hear that? Yes, good.
Hey, I'm Brooks Garner. I'm a senior on SLB.
My name's Ray. I'm a sophomore in SLB.
I'm Trina Gura, and I'm a junior class representative.
Our takeaway was just like when to introduce technology to kids, and like with that, like social media and like the possibility of using a flip phone versus a regular phone for kids of young ages.
I'm Molly Edwards Seagraves. I'm the president of Stratford Minds Matter.
I'm Annie Garner. I'm a class representative for SLB.
I'm Sadie Blackwood, and I'm a sophomore representative on Stratford Minds Matter. And our biggest takeaway is that in a world with technology that has taken away our critical thinking and our problem-solving skills, and as a group, we believe it's very important to come together with ourselves and with our kids to break down how to problem solve when we face obstacles in our lives.
I'm Eden Kovacs. I am the secretary of Stratford Minds Matter.
I'm Layla Wilson. I'm also the secretary of Stratford Minds Matter.
And our group's biggest takeaway was setting more boundaries with phones, and specifically on different age groups, and taking phones at night and just setting more boundaries on what they have on their phone and what they don't.
Hi, I'm Caroline Dent. I'm a junior class representative on SLB.
Hi, I'm Blair Christie. I'm a freshman representative on SLB.
And our main takeaway was that social media leads to communication, but on the flip side, it leads to loss of contextualization, which makes people interpret things differently.
Social media leads to access and communication, but it also creates a loss of contextualization, which makes people interpret things differently. We all interpret things differently in writing depending on our perspective, basically, right? Very good.
So I'm Avery Geary. I am a senior representative for Minds Matter.
And I'm Jack Jones, and I'm also a senior representative for Stratford Minds Matter. And our biggest takeaway was that technology allows us to always be efficiently connected to each other, but that can also lead to a reduce in independence.